Are you considering making fish roll for your first time? Then this is the best recipe you would find on the internet. It is beginner friendly and it is also very detailed. Let's look at the ingredients. You need 5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup or 9 cubes of sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of powdered milk. You need 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 2 eggs. You need nutmeg for that extra flavor, 1 teaspoon, and of course you need water. I used a total of 1 and 1/4 cups of water. Now let's get into the process. I am going to mix my wet ingredients while adding a few dry ingredients like milk and salt and sugar into it because I want my sugar to dissolve. I am using cube form sugar. You could use your sugar, you could use granulated sugar, it makes it easier, but I don't mind going through this process. I'm just going to leave it in there and it's going to melt while I am mixing my other dry ingredients together. So I go to my flour, I add my baking powder, and I add my flavor, nutmeg. If you love nutmeg, you can go in with a full tablespoon. If you are extra, you just really want that flavor. But going in with with 1 full teaspoon makes it if the flavor is subtle, it's just really nice. Okay, so but if you want extra nutmeg flavor, go in with 1 full tablespoon as opposed to a teaspoon. I go ahead now to mix. I am going to go in with my hands because I've washed my hands and they are clean. At some point I am going to go in with my hands. If you have a hand mixer, then that's going to be if you have an electric mixer, that's going to be better. Now, as I always say, when you are making your dough, add your water slowly. At the beginning, when I showed you guys my bowl, I had just 1 cup of water in it. But as I kept on mixing, I realized that I needed to add like a 1/4 cup of water. So I got extra water in the blue cup you guys saw me pouring, and then I went in with my hand. Now, when you add water, sometimes your dough will still look like it's not coming together. It will look like it's dry, like some of the dough just wouldn't stick. Please go ahead and mix and roll and mash for as long as possible. I did this for like 10 minutes. When I got to about 7 minutes in, I realized that some of the dough was sticking on the bowl, so I went in with, I just drizzled in a little bit of water like you guys saw earlier. Just a little bit of water. It's not, I don't think it's up to a tablespoon of water that I added. Okay, so take note of that, and then you keep on just kneading your dough until you can see that your bowl is clean. All the dough is sticking to itself. You don't have dough, you don't have like a flour and stuff just everywhere in the bowl. The bowl is so clean, like it's looking like I washed it, but that's because the flour is well kneaded and mixed together properly. Our dough is bouncy, it is stretchy, and it is firm. It is not soft. If you have a very soft dough, you're not going to be able to roll it. It's going to be sticky. You need to add more flour. Now we head over to making our fish filling. Okay, I am using some diced onions, some shredded carrots, some green pepper, some green spice, some white pepper, curry powder, Knorr seasoning cubes, and some grinded garlic. This fish was seasoned with salt and some seasoning powder. So I am just going to boil my fish. While I'm boiling my fish, I will go ahead to flatten out my dough and then just cut them in the shape I want my fish roll to be. Just watch this process keenly. What I do normally is that while my fish is boiling, I go ahead to prep my fish roll dough. Okay, I just flatten it and cut it so that when my filling is ready, I'm not going through this process again. And then if you want your fish rolls to be the same size, which I think it looks cute when they are the same size, just get a round cutter. Anything, it could be the cover of your sugar container, it could be whatever that is just clean that you can use and that can give you a reasonable size of fish roll. Go ahead and use it. Flatten out your dough, don't make it very thin. The edges can be thin. One side of the edge should be thin so that when you're wrapping it over at the end, it's going to be smooth and it's going to stick easily, and you would not have the filling spill into your oil. Okay, yeah, so I did that and I did more and more and more. Just keep watching and follow the steps. You can get your pen and your paper so that you don't miss out on anything. Of course, I'll leave the ingredients in the description box. If you've gotten to this point and you are not subscribed to this channel, I think now is the time for you to click on that subscribe button. Thank you. After about 15 minutes, my fish was ready. I went ahead to start deboning my fish. This is Morocco. It's not very bony, so it's easy to do it. It was quite quick. I think in like 10 minutes I was done. You could also go ahead to skip this process and just buy like maybe sardine fish or something that is already deboned. I see some people using canned fish. You could use whatever it is you prefer, but I just like to go with fish that I make from scratch. Okay, so I go ahead to put some butter in a pan. You could use oil if you prefer that. I put in my garlic, my shredded garlic. I didn't blend it, I just used the grater for it. And then my diced onions, I add it. I fry for about 2 minutes before adding all the other ingredients. This video is fast forwarded so that it's not unnecessarily long for you guys. So after like 2 minutes of frying my onions and garlic, I added my green peppers, my green spices, and my carrot. I came in with some oil because I realized that it was a little dry, the butter wasn't enough. And then now I come in with my Knorr seasoning powder, my white pepper, and my curry powder. Now pepper is not something that I showed you guys as part of the ingredients, but while I was mixing this, I remembered that a little bit of pepper would not hurt, so I blended some pepper. I used a lot of water to blend the pepper, that's why it looks watery. So that is pepper that I just added. And yeah, it wasn't very hot, but there's just something that pepper does to food that I really love, so I like to add a little bit of pepper. And then I come in with my fish, I stir, give it a good mix, and that's it. Our fish filling for our fish roll is ready, and it looks and tastes amazing. I didn't end up using salt for this, I just used the seasoning powder and it turned out great. Now you guys can see why I prepped my fish roll wrappings or whatever, I don't know what to call this, but you guys can see why I prepped it ahead, because it just makes the work easier and everything is just systematic. So I go in now with my fish filling. I have 1 egg that I have cracked, which I'm going to use to seal my fish roll. Watch what I'm doing, I'm sealing the ends so that we don't have any fish roll fish filling spilling into the oil. Okay, another tip you want to do when making fish roll and you don't want it to spill into the oil, after closing the ends like I did, ensure that you use your egg wash or water and flour like some people would do, then roll it in your palm like you saw me doing, or roll it on your board like you saw me doing. And then when you're putting you're stacking up your fish roll, I think I need to do a bit of explaining with this, but I'm telling you it makes a whole lot of difference if you do it this way. So when you're done rolling your fish roll like the one you see on the board, make sure you place it in such a way that that overlapping end is facing down. That way there's pressure being exerted on the area where you lastly sealed your fish roll. Man, I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying, but yeah, that's how much explanation I can give for that. But the last part, like this part right now that I'm rolling, you want to make sure that you put it facing down. Yes, this part I'm touching, put it facing down on the board or on whatever surface you're stacking up your fish roll before frying, just like I've done here. All of them are facing down, the overlapping part is facing down, so as I stack them on each other, they exert pressure and it sticks even more. And so when you put your fish roll in oil, you are sure that you're not going to be seeing some carrots and things flying in your oil. Try this and thank me tomorrow. So Yeah, our oil was already hot and we went in with our fish rolls. Fry to your choice of color, if you like it golden brown or you like it a little bit darker like me. Do what pleases you. Let your oil not be too hot. Now when you want to put it in the oil, ensure that your oil is hot so that it doesn't stay on the bottom and just keep drinking the oil. But then at some point you have to ensure that your oil is not getting too hot or the fire is not too hot so that it doesn't cook on the outside and then it stays raw on the inside. This is what your fish roll will look like after you try this recipe. You would enjoy it, I promise. Try this recipe, come back and tell me how it turns out. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.